Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. This is Anonymous T. Hope you're having an amazing day today. So today I wanted to discuss Andre from Love Island USA Season 3. If you guys do not remember, because his appearance was short-lived, he came in with Casey when they had the Fashion Nova pajama party, happening or whatever. And he, went on dates and he was like kissing on Olivia and doing all this other stuff, but ended up coupling up with Trina and, was trying to sell this narrative that he had just recently, got a divorce or was filing for a divorce or in the process of a divorce. And, was trying to keep things respectable and all this and that. But I felt something was off. I always felt something was off with the story. Something didn't make sense with how recent the alleged divorce filing took place. And he was not with the first child's mother, but he was alleging that he was getting a divorce from the second child's mother, which we didn't know. We did not know that the wife was pregnant while he was filming the show either. So, we already had the video a while back. I want to say sometime last year, like a few months after the show, where Mr. Andre reveals another bundle of joy, which due to the timeline would have indicated that his wife was pregnant before he went on Love Island. So there was no divorce. I need to see receipts of said divorce papers. But an interesting post took place, and it says the following. It says, a celebration in heaven with some celebration emojis. God definitely works in mysterious ways. What you're seeing is my divorce papers ripped up and used as confetti. Almost a year to the day we began our divorce process, and God has rewritten our story. I'll live the rest of my life given the testimony of my marriage and the power of prayer in my life. I had moved on and I was living my life thinking I knew what I was doing, but God had other plans. If you're out there and you are struggling in your relationships, don't give up. Hashtag Brunelli family. Hashtag the best is yet to come. Hashtag glory to God. And there's no option for you to leave any comments because he at least had the wherewithal to know that this is very shady. This is very sus and people are going to call it out. And what looks to be ripped up plain construction paper or plain printer paper, I do not see any text. I do see like a couple of red labels and things, but I'm calling fake news. Even if they did file for a divorce, I don't think a divorce was ever intentionally about to happen. Because presumably, you would have to think that he had to have gotten calls around this time last year in interviews about Love Island. He would have had to have, because you just had this baby in September. The post was in September, you guys, September 24th, 2021, this new bundle of joy, which is 9 months into the year. So you would have had to have known your wife was pregnant by the end of January. So you concocted this, we started divorce proceedings while you're doing interviews, while you're getting callbacks about being casted on Love Island to make it seem as though you're getting a divorce or your divorce is close to being filed. Meanwhile, you have a newly pregnant wife that you're leaving to go on a reality show to potentially win $100K for your family. Or at the minimum $50K. But we have to revamp this casting process. We have to revamp casting, you guys. At least for Big Brother and at least for Survivor and The Amazing Race, the bulk of the cast, for the most part, usually are super fans or have some familiarity with the game or actually want to do it as a challenge. But it seems like that's not the same energy for Love Island. It seems that they are just casting whomever at this point, and a very small number of people out of that cast are actually looking for love and actually there for genuine reasons. And then we have situations like this where it again pisses people off because you've invested all this time watching the show, voting on your favorite couples, voting on your favorite islanders, only for some shenanigans to, finally be revealed once the show is over. And I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over the fakery. I'm over the fake couples. I'm over people going on the show with wives and girlfriends and everything else back home because allegedly Corey apparently is still with his girlfriend before he left on the show. Like, it's just all a hot mess. It is all a hot mess. And it's like, not only did you leave your pregnant wife, but you lied to the public, you lied to the fandom, in that this was never a divorce that was going to go through. And you knew that. You knew that. Because it doesn't make any sense. How are you, newly finding out at some point that your wife is pregnant, coincidentally the same time that you're getting callbacks for interviews or things of that nature, or you're in the running at least to be on Love Island, and then all of a sudden you finally make the show because you were in quarantine until they find the right time to bring you in as a bombshell, and you have this entire story about this alleged divorce that was taking place, and that you're a single dad and you only have one child. And that is not the truth at all. The truth is, you knew you were going to be a father of two. You knew that you were going back to your wife. That is why you completely shut down on the PDA after you did what you needed to do to at least stay in the villa for a little bit. And then you just, did some affection to an extent to partake in the games and things of that nature. But outside of the games, it really wasn't like that. You were acting like a man who had somebody at home. So this is all just very wild to me, and it just kind of is discouraging as a huge Love Island fan. Dating back to, the UK version was really when I fell in love with the show. And I watched Love Island Australia as well. And I'm just very frustrated because I don't understand why is this happening? Like, what do we need to do to make sure this does not happen again? What do we need to do? Because obviously they're not doing thorough background checks on these people. Remember the one that they had to send home season 2 because he didn't disclose that he used to do porn or something? But this season, as long as you disclose that you have an OnlyFans, it's okay. But then you also get sent home for bringing drugs to the villa. So there's that. Oh my gosh, you guys. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about the fact that Andre knowingly went on Love Island USA Season 3 as a married man with a pregnant wife at home, however, presented an image as though he was a single dad that was either newly divorced or about to officially be divorced, and, is trying to get himself back out there, which you would normally think would be after an extended period of time, not after, once you get the phone call that you're going to make the show, that all of these things have accelerated and have taken place. Are there even receipts at all that an actual divorce was even filed? Do we even know that? Or was this also a fake narrative to present to the public? Because I knew that things with the wife were never over. Remember, it was exposed when Andre first got on the show that the alleged wife had, continuous photos of them, basically together as a family and everything else. And then she conveniently changed her page to a travel channel, to a travel Instagram channel. that she was all of a sudden this travel agent, that she was concierge. And 2 seconds ago, you had an entire page, your Facebook, your Instagram, everything was devoted to this man. But then conveniently for the show, oh, no, she's my ex-wife or soon to be ex-wife. And you go to her page and all of a sudden, once people caught on, she quickly, either archived or deleted the photos and completely changed her page to an events travel page to make it as though there was that's not the case, that he really is going on the show single. Let me ask you guys this. Would you guys be okay with your boyfriend or your husband or significant other, whoever, or for male fans as well, if your wife or girlfriend goes on a show like Love Island and, presents this image that they're single, right? Presents this image that they're single or that they're recently divorced, this and that. Meanwhile, in reality, they have a pregnant wife at home, all to potentially win $100,000, and at the minimum $50K if you choose to split it or your partner chooses to split it. But telling your significant other in advance of the show that you may have to kiss some people in challenges, you're gonna have to share a bed with somebody else, you're gonna have to do all this stuff. Are you okay with that as long as I bring home money? Like, I just need to understand the logic, because this is giving me Caleb, like similar things that Caleb did from season 2, where he basically had a girlfriend or somebody he was dealing with back home that he was not honest about, that his sister exposed on Christmas. Like, just make it make sense. What is the casting process? What is the vetting process of these contestants, of these islanders? Because it is just very annoying. It is very annoying. It is very frustrating. And this seems to keep happening with the Love Island franchise compared to the other CBS reality shows. There always seems to be some type of scandal, some type of thing that's revealed, months after the show is over, that once again, you just have like a deep sigh and you're shaking your head because you're just saying, over and over again, WTF. And now, allegedly, it looks as though Andre never was divorced and probably never filed for divorce, and likely knew that he had a pregnant wife heading into Love Island, because she would have been very far along at that point if she had the baby in September. And allegedly, Corey also having a girlfriend and doing the family meet and greet, his family doing the meet and greet from his girlfriend's house, and allegedly taking his girlfriend out to some of these, places he's been to as of late. So again, can we revamp the casting process, especially for the men? Because there's already an article now, and I don't know whether or not I even want to talk about it, but I may do a video on it. It's about how Love Island isn't setting up for success for Black love and everything else, but they use the most awkward picture of Justine and Caleb that basically solidify that they're not casting Black men to have Black love in the first place on Love Island, so we need to start there. That if we are casting Black men who are actually there to find love in the first place on Love Island, then maybe we could speak about Black love. But that's not the case right now. That's not the case of what's happening right now. What's happening right now, and what is going to continue to happen, is people are going to follow the Caleb playbook, which is what Tyler did and arguably some other people did on the USA version. And that is going to be, they are going to strategically pick certain people that, either is the fan favorite or is somebody who is vulnerable, who's had issues being rejected and this and that in the past and has had a hard time, opening up and trusting people. So the fans, of course, fall in love. They stan this particular islander, and then in swoops Prince Charming, like a Caleb or like a Tyler or what have you, and makes it as though, oh, I am your Prince Charming, I'm your knight shining armor, we have this beautiful love story, this and that, only for some shenanigans to take place several months after the show is over. Now, granted, I understand in all likelihood, we're not expecting all these couples to, live happily ever after, get married, have children, although the success rate is much better on the UK version compared to the US version. But we know for the US version, at least, we give these couples maximum 6 months. But in the case of Josh and Shannon, they seem to be the real deal. That, they just recently moved to Florida together. So I see them, barring something, crazy happening, I see them in it for the long haul. And everybody in the cast is pretty much, said as such. So, because they've pretty much outlasted, mostly everybody. Even on the UK shows, with the exception of the couple of couples that are still left from this past season of Love Island UK season 7. So yeah. But I want to know what you guys think. I want you guys to let me know what you guys think of Andre's scam that he pulled. But again, as mad as we can be at Andre and at Corey for this trifling behavior, we have to hold casting accountable, because they are doing these Instagram lives, they are doing these promotional things for you to apply on the show, and they will feature some of the Islanders that they specifically casted for the show, and it's diminishing the number of people who are actually applying, that actually are single. Like Justine actually applied for Love Island. Trina actually applied for Love Island. But then there's people who are recruited. There are people who have, large Instagram followings already, like a Sally Vasquez, who's already, on American Idol, like Johnny last season. They already had huge Instagram followings prior to the show. They already had a couple 100,000 followers before the show even began. But not to, call them out specifically, but what I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make is, sometimes if you're just going off of popularity off of Instagram, or off of the number of Instagram followers that they have, or whatever else, that doesn't necessarily mean that everything is on the up and up with that person, or they could just be using this as an opportunity to, either get some more exposure, or to basically, in Andre's case, provide for his wife and child. Going on a dating show, nonetheless, instead of going on Big Brother or Survivor or The Amazing Race, where that doesn't matter. None of that's into question, whether or not you are in a relationship, or whether you're single or married or whatever, have kids. None of that is a determining factor of being on a reality competition show. But this is incorporating the element of dating to where you're supposed to be dating and getting to know the different people on this island to potentially find a match, to potentially have a match. But if you are purposely holding back because you know that you have somebody at home, you have a pregnant wife at home, then it kind of defeats the purpose. And Andre was already known to some extent because he's a model, and he was in J-Lo's music video, I want to say, as well. So he had somewhat, already a background in modeling and in working and everything else, being in Miami and having that exposure. But to present this lie and present yourself that you were here for love and that you were here to try to find somebody and that you really wanted to, you know, couple up with Olivia. Like, all of this now is just very sus. It's fake news. I'm just very annoyed. And I don't think for 1 second that this divorce ever happened. Or if they filed knowing that the divorce was never going to go through. And that this was something that, you know, he had to just keep up. Like I just want to know, did all the contracts expire? Like, is this why we're getting all of this shenanigans now? Did all of the contracts expire after the end of, you know, January and February? Like, is this why we're getting all of this foolishness now? Because nothing makes sense. But it seems every season around this January and February mark, some nonsense from the Love Island USA updates start to ensue. And we get these announcements, and then everybody's trying to dissect the announcements, but then you get the real deal shortly after of what the real situation was. And in this case, Andre was telling us who he was literally the moment that he stepped foot on the show. Literally the moment when people exposed his wife for immediately changing her page to an entertainment travel concierge page. And pretending like she was single. And it wasn't even a month. It was barely a month after the show that, or a little over a month, I want to say, that he, you know, or I want to say maybe a month and a half after the show ended, that he reveals that he had a child. And now, a few months later, oh, so you're trying to tell me, what, 5 months? 5 months after your child is born, you've decided to get back with your child's mother. You want me to believe this. You don't want me to believe that you guys never broke up in the first place. Because that's what I'm getting. Like I said, this is all very sus. Very sus, very shady, very disturbing. And for real this time, I want to know your guys' thoughts. I want you guys to react. I want to know what you guys think of this tomfoolery. So please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys again very soon.